What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Mike from NYC. Feel me? And today we got another reaction, of course. Wilt Chamberlain rumored that he slept with 20,000 women. Now, before we even get started, I already know Wilt be on bullshit. Bill be on bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The way they talk about things is very just like, it's very like misty. There's not a lot of concrete to the shit they say. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember Bill talking about like Michael Jordan winning championships. Well, like it's just a whole bunch of misty like sounds good type of shit. So before we even hear what Will has to say, because I already know he probably gonna be some bullshit. You feel me? Nah, matter of fact, let's say what he gotta say first. But just know he probably gonna be on some like he not gonna say nothing real concrete. He gonna say a lot of words. He gonna say a lot of words without actually saying anything type shit.
I'm taller than everybody that comes on this show. Then you've just thrown the whole curve off. How tall are you exactly?
5'11" and a half.
Oh, now I'm really depressed.
It's a big half. The last half is a big half.
Congratulations on the book coming out. Who's Running the Asylum? You have some.
What got a book?
Make some pretty interesting statements here. You talk about in your prime how you think you would have maybe stacked up against Shaquille O'Neal, or you know. Well, what do you think would have happened, you versus Shaquille O'Neal today? Because people sometimes lump the two of you together.
Yeah, because we're both terrible foul shooters. But other than that, Shaquille and I is like comparing me with Clark Gable. Mm-hmm. In this case, I'm Clark Gable and he's me. No, he played.
I thought you were going to be self-effacing for a second,
no, nothing like
Screw
that. No, he plays an entirely different type of basketball game. Mm-hmm. He uses his physicality, and he's a big, strong young man, and that works well in today's game. Mm-hmm. If he was facing me and other guys of my time, not so good. I mean, I'm a guy bench pressing around 600 pounds. When I was at my
600 pounds?
Yeah, right. So,
I'm at 5'10". That's pretty good.
Yeah,
let's work on it a little while. I'll be in your league, my friend.
Right. That's why you better be rather nice to me here, you know. And I'm a little surprised because I know you want to talk about a subject that is dear to my heart.
Well, we got to talk about this.
Yeah.
You made a statement, and this statement's going to follow you around for a while. That you slept with 20,000 women. You made that statement. Now. And I gotta say, that's the kind of thing that you say, and then people bring it up later on.
Especially
20,000 women.
People like you, right?
Exactly. Right. It's not just me. Have you seen? There's a clock in Times Square. Take a look at this thing. It's pretty incredible. Yeah. I didn't think that.
Okay.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I want to know about my family share. That's the part I'm curious about.
Well, first of all, it was encounters. But you know, I thought maybe one of the reasons you invited me on the show was to give me an award from the Board of Education. Because whenever people see me now, they go, 20,000. And let's see, he must have started with like 15, and he's now maybe 55. So let's see, 20,365 and 20,000, and you know, and then
so you're getting people thinking.
Not only that, I'm teaching them mathematics, which is really the whole story here. You understand?
I don't think that's going to be a word problem for kids.
It should be.
Chamberlain is with 10 women on a train headed east.
That's right.
It should be though. It should be. That's real life, bruh. That's real talk, bruh. It should be on the math problem.
But on the serious side of that, though, you know, just so women don't think me of being really whatever, the number was to make a statement about something, and it was not ever to sort of like belittle the ladies that I've known and make them just another number. In fact, in my book, they were a number, really great-looking numbers they were, you understand? But what I was trying to say in my book...
20,000.
20,000, right.
That's all I'm thinking as you're talking. I'm not hearing any of this.
There's nothing wrong with short romance.
You keep fading out, and the number 20,000 comes in.
There's nothing wrong with short romance, believe me.
Short romance.
As long as it's a happy thing, going on, right, believe me. But the idea was to say that, you know, sex really rules the world. And that, you know, for men who think that having 1,000 different women is really cool, I have found out, but you have to first find out that having one woman 1,000 different times is what's really happening.
But how'd you...
Yeah, right. Let's look at it. Yeah. Now go ahead.
So you had sex 1,000 times with each of the 20,000. That's what I'm thinking now.
Hell no. Stop right now.
I'm really impressed now.
It takes stamina. It takes stamina. It takes stamina.
All right, well, let's talk about another
kidding.
number. All right, let's talk about the number 100 points in one game, which I believe was versus the Knicks.
I just want to go to show that nigga didn't say nothing about nothing. Like he didn't it just like nothing was like wait, what did he say? He didn't say nothing. He started talking. You feel me? Like, yeah, you know what I found is, you know, not to belittle, but you know, and then the math, teaching people math, like nothing's being said. You feel me? But that's, you know, it's you know, my uncle was like that. You feel me? And it was just like. It's entertaining to a degree. It's entertaining for sure, but I'm gonna let the video finish out.
That's right.
Is that right?
It's a long time.
Was there
Right.
Was there a point? 100 points in one game. Was there a point where just the other team like left and made sandwiches on the bench? I mean,
well, I really wish it was. Actually, they were really very embarrassed about the whole thing. Understand? And so they were mad at me. You know, and I was just out there trying to have fun.
Did you start to, like, at 85 points, did you start to feel bad a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
and the people...
I'll just try and miss this one, 100 points.
And I did that, I know. I did that. Then my mother scolded me when I got home. You should be ashamed of yourself. You know, it was not an easy night.
No,
because I wasn't friends on the Knicks.
Let's talk about, Michael Jordan. I'm curious. Michael Jordan, say we had a time machine here, and we could send Michael Jordan back to the Civil War. No, that's stupid. What? That's just my own fantasy, you know.
Right, okay.
What if we could send Michael Jordan back to playing basketball with you in your prime? All right. How do you think he would do in those days?
Well, first of all,
That's
with
hilarious.
me, you know, and not against me. Michael Jordan is one of those rare specimens that could have played at any particular time, and is a gifted athlete who is using those gifts in basketball incredibly so. He has been the liaison between something that's not so good and making it great for all the rest. I think that almost every man in the NBA should give him 10% of their checks.
Now, what would his playing style, how would that have translated back then?
Well, his playing style is he's 6'7" and he's like 197 pounds. Coming into what we call our domain, the pivot for us big guys, would not have been very wise of Michael, you know, if he was playing during our time. So we would say, Michael, you know, as long as you do all those fancy things outside of where we are, that's fine. So it wouldn't have been good for Michael.
Really?
No.
You think he'd have been crushed, is what you're saying?
I don't think. I know he'd been crushed. Right, yeah.
Really? He just wouldn't have worked back then?
No, he would have came in there once or twice.
What about the 360-degree whip-around dunk? What would people have thought of that at the time?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because you see, the mentality of the fan today is wonderful, and they've learned to accept showbiz.
Right.
And Michael is the epitome of showbiz, along with that great talent. During my time, if you did a 360, first of all, the opposition would take it as an insult that you would try to do something like that against them. The coach on your own team, if you were at least 90,000 points ahead, would bench you. And the fans would look at you like, well, he's the biggest hot dog in the world.
So you're saying Michael Jordan back then would have been on the bench the whole time?
Absolutely, you know, being considered a hot dog. Think about that. And that's the truth.
Really?
But now, in Chicago, if he doesn't give you one of those 360s you're talking about,
right,
even though their team is 90 points ahead,
right,
they're looking for something spectacular.
The fans will turn on.
Right, you're right.
Back then it was more about teamwork, working together.
Absolutely.
What's happened to basketball?
Were you a basketball player?
Who, me? Well, I used to like to play basketball, but and I had the height and everything. I lacked what's called coordination, and it's true. And I found out later that you need that. I didn't know where. I was one of those guys who was like, to me, you know, and then and I'd get it, and I fell a lot. I wept openly sometimes during the game. It was just a messy thing.
That could be a problem.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But still, I'd have given you a run for your money.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay.
All right. Now, we'll talk about a record. So this blew me away, but you're a competitive guy.
I think so.
And you, I didn't know this. This translates into your personal life. You like to drive cross country, and some people do. I've driven cross country a few times. I enjoy it. But you like to do it really fast. Is that the case?
Absolutely.
How fast are we talking about here?
Well, we're talking about trying to average up in the 130s and go as high as 175, 180 miles an hour. You know, and that's a non-stop drive from like New
And this
York.
is in a Volkswagen Bug. That's the impressive
Yeah, well,
thing.
I did a commercial for Volkswagen. It's with a little different engine, but you know.
But what are you talking about? How can you go that fast and not be constantly pulled over? What happens?
Well, you have to be clever. You have to use your
What
eyes.
do you mean clever?
Oh,
You're going
yeah.
180 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Everything's a blur. You're just birds are just piling up on your
A
windshield.
clever bird, a clever blur.
You like to I found kind of interesting, but you have a method for sort of like killing time.
Yeah.
When you see that you're 6 miles out of Denver and you're on the road going 150 miles an hour, what do you do to try and kill?
I hold my breath and see if I can hold my breath all the way to Denver. Like it was 8 or 9 miles away, you know, and so I work, you know, I gotta work my way up. When I start in New York, I can only hold my breath about like.
All right, so yeah, we don't need to listen to these last 2 minutes. You know, basically, you know, Wilt like to play with the idea of death. You know, slightly. You feel me? Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, you know, not like literally not what was said, bro. Like literally what was said. What was said. And anything that was said was not legit, bro. Like anything that was legitimately like said, like, oh yeah, Michael Jordan would have been on the bench, or it wouldn't have been good for Michael. Like, I promise you, bro. First of all, Bill, niggas don't want to talk about this, but Bill was 6'10", 220. MJ was 6'7", 200. So, like, is he that much bigger than Will? I mean, is he that much bigger than Bill? Like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it was entertaining. It's TV, you feel me? It definitely served its purpose. It got over 1 million views. You feel me? Just said a whole bunch of nothing. You feel me? And in terms of him sleeping with 20,000 women, that, you know, when he started doing the math, that's kind of what I started going to. Like, damn, what's the math on that? Like, let's say he started at 16, and then let's say he stopped, his last woman he had sex with, let's just say for the number's sake was, what, 56? Just do a solid 40 years, right? And then a solid 40 years, and then 365 times 40, what is that? 365 times 40 would be 14,600. So 20. So that's about a one woman and a quarter of a woman per day. About one woman and then a quarter of a woman each day. I don't know what the truth is behind that. I mean, you know what I mean. But if that's true, that is freaking crazy. But yeah, you know, definitely like, comment, share, subscribe. If you like this video, you feel me? Yeah, you know, I enjoy listening to the older people talk. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them, you know, a lot of them have a lot of wisdom, but a lot of them don't really be saying nothing. Like, they say a whole bunch of fluff, and it is entertaining to hear. You know what I mean? It is something that I stick around for. But, you know, yeah, I ain't really tripping too much on it, you know, but yeah, it was definitely a good video. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you enjoy. I see you when I see ya. Peace.